The Battle of Stalingrad took place during World War II as part of Operation Barbarossa, Hitler's ambitious invasion of the Soviet Union that began on June 22, 1941. Stalingrad was a significant industrial and transportation center on the western bank of the Volga River. German forces, under the command of General Friedrich Paulus, rapidly advanced deep into Soviet territory, encircling and besieging Stalingrad by late August 1942. The city's strategic location was sought for its transportation routes and industrial capacity. Soviet forces, commanded by Marshal Georgy Zhukov, organized a tenacious defense, utilizing the city's buildings, factories, and streets as fortifications. The defenders fought fiercely to prevent the city from falling into German hands. The battle became known for its brutal urban warfare, with both sides engaged in house-to-house, street-to-street fighting. Snipers, close-quarter combat, and improvised defenses were characteristic of this intense struggle. In September 1942, the Soviets launched Operation Uranus, encircling German forces outside the city. This counteroffensive aimed to relieve pressure on Stalingrad by trapping and eventually defeating the German units. The German forces inside the Stalingrad pocket suffered from severe supply shortages due to the extended siege. The Luftwaffe attempted to supply them via airdrops, but these efforts fell short of the needed support. The battle extended into the winter months, subjecting both sides to freezing temperatures. The cold weather affected soldiers' health, reduced equipment efficiency, and made the fighting even more grueling. Despite the encirclement, the Soviets managed to ferry troops and supplies across the frozen Volga River, strengthening the defenses and maintaining their resolve to hold the city. The Soviet counteroffensive was a pivotal moment. It involved two Soviet pincers that encircled the German forces outside Stalingrad. This successful maneuver trapped a substantial portion of the German 6th Army and part of the 4th Panzer Army. In January 1943, the German forces inside Stalingrad were in dire straits. General Paulus surrendered, leading to the surrender of the entire 6th Army. This marked a major turning point as the Soviets began a broader counteroffensive along the Eastern Front. The surrender at Stalingrad weakened the German position on the Eastern Front and eroded their morale. The Soviets capitalized on this vulnerability, launching a massive counteroffensive that would ultimately push the Germans back westward. The battle was named after Soviet leader Joseph Stalin, and the city's name held immense symbolic value for both sides. Hitler's fixation on capturing the city played into Soviet resolve to defend it at all costs. The battle was one of the deadliest in history. Both sides suffered enormous casualties, with estimates of over 2 million killed, wounded, or missing in action. The Soviets adopted a strategy of attrition, continuously wearing down the German forces with relentless attacks, stretching their resources, and diminishing their combat effectiveness. The Soviets gradually gained air superiority over the battle area, which allowed them to provide aerial support to the ground forces, disrupt German supply lines, and weaken the besieged German forces. Hitler's unwavering order to General Paulus not to retreat or attempt to break out from the encirclement is often cited as a contributing factor to the eventual surrender of the German forces. The Soviet victory at Stalingrad marked a turning point in the war. It shattered the myth of German invincibility and shifted the strategic initiative in favor of the Allies. The battle's outcome was heavily used for propaganda purposes by both sides. The Soviet victory was celebrated as a symbol of Soviet resilience and the people's dedication to defending their homeland. The loss of Stalingrad seriously weakened Germany's Eastern Front. The momentum swung in favor of the Allies, and the Red Army began to regain territory, embarking on a westward push. The Battle of Stalingrad left an indelible mark on history. It stands as a testament to the capacity of human endurance, the consequences of strategic decisions in warfare, and the resilience of nations in the face of tremendous challenges. The battle's legacy serves as a reminder of the sacrifices made during the war and the determination to prevent such conflicts in the future.